up? It's your girl, Sasha Banks, the legit boss. You are watching Going In Raw. You like that?
Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you can be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson, available wherever podcasts can be found. Of course, taped live at the Twitch, twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. We are going to be live right here on the Twitch tomorrow for our Impact co-stream.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know how many appearances Kenny Omega is going to make on Impact. This could be...
I know. One.
If that's true, this could be the one time you can catch.
Tomorrow. I mean, just tomorrow. He'll have one appearance tomorrow. Subsequent weeks, who knows? I mean, he's not going to be multiple segments tomorrow. That's what I meant.
Oh, I thought you meant one time. No. Yeah, nobody really knows on that one.
How many times? I thought you meant how many times would be tomorrow's episode.
It's going to be 3 minutes, plop down, middle of the episode, probably shot from a hotel room.
At the end. They're going to make people wait through the entire episode.
You think they're going to pull that on you, huh?
Oh, heck yeah.
Wow. They should bookend it. They should have them shoot 10 minutes. You do 5 at the beginning, 5 at the end.
Maybe.
That'd be smart. Anyways, we're going to find out tomorrow. Larson's going to be with us for the Impact stream. And the Enforcer's going to be here too. So that should be a lot of fun. Join us then, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. There's a brand new episode of That's Not Scary with me and my wife. We tell ghost stories that Friendos send in. You can check that at youtube.com/That's Not Scary. We've got holiday sales right now going at friendomarket.com and friendomerch.com. Check those out. Let's talk about Raw. What a great third hour that we had to sit through 2 hours.
Yeah, third hour was pretty good. It's just a shame that my energy was sapped from my vessel prior to that.
I think this was a case of pacing on one hand and not enough juicy matches on the other, because the first hour, whenever they do, if they had put either Lashley, Hardy to kick off the show, or even better, maybe Miz, Morrison, AJ, Drew, Sheamus to kick it off.
You're looking too deep into it. You take Miz TV out, you put something interesting there.
Yeah.
The show feels better. You put Miz TV and give it like 10 minutes. Oh, it just saps the life force from you.
Yeah, but look at how this thing kicked off.
I understand your point. I know it's a lot of talking from Randy Orton, some Bray Wyatt stuff. It takes forever. I'm telling you, when Miz TV kicks off that second hour, I feel like I'm already 4 hours into the show. Of a 3-hour show
by
because
the end
it's Miz TV.
By the end of hour 1, it felt like I was deep into hour 3. Because you got there was no why, Steve. This is why. Because there were no meaty matches. I know why.
This is why. Because you get an hour, you're like, all right, I'm expecting something good. It's kicking off the second hour. Oh, Miz TV.
You're all in on dumping on Miz TV. I hate Miz. I'll be honest.
Miz TV kills whatever momentum a show may have, and the show doesn't have momentum.
Telling you, man.
It introduces negative momentum into the show.
If you kick out, you feel like you're going backwards. Well, I think one of the bigger issues also tonight was that there was so much rehashing.
There were so many recaps of what happened in the episode.
Yeah, right. There were a lot of recaps from there were a lot. Yeah, there was a lot of problems in the first 2
tons
hours.
Of recaps. There was just recaps all over the place.
Let's kick off though with what I'm putting in the thumbnail, because I thought it was legitimately cool. The encounter in the main event between Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt.
Yeah,
because I thought this was kind of cool. So Randy Orton started the show saying, I want to fight Bray Wyatt, not the Fiend, because I got that at TLC.
Firefly Bray, yeah.
I want Firefly Bray, Sweater Bray, right? So they have a really fun match. Goes to the outside. It's pretty brutal. Bray is a lot. I love watching it, especially because we rarely get to see him wrestle. It's a treat when we do. He did a thing where right before they go to commercial break, he gets into the mic and says, "Yeah, we'll be right back," which is a great little piece of meta storytelling right there. So towards the finish, I thought this was really clever. You had Wyatt trying Sister Abigail, Orton countering with an eye poke, a draping DDT. The lights sort of half go out. Orton hits his RKO, and then the rest of them go down as he covers. When the red lights come up, moments later, he's in the same pinning position, but with the Fiend. I thought that was kind of a cool situation. What do you think's going to happen with them next week And then the Fiend has to win it. Randy Orton's going to get the upper hand next week. Then the Fiend goes over at TLC.
Oh yeah.
Because that's how the Fiend is booked.
This is all about expunging that whole prior feud from the Bray Wyatt's record. That's what this is about. This is about getting that L back.
Any chance they reference that match? Any chance they reference that match, that TLC one? Get some shots of like maggots on the floor or whatever.
They should.
That'd be cool. That'd be kind of neat, huh?
They should.
But if you're not gonna have a full-on Firefly Funhouse type match, add elements. Bring Firefly Funhouse to Thunder. Which, by the way, tonight was last night at
Amway Center. Yeah,
Amway Center.
See that picture of them getting to set up at Tropicana Field?
Yeah, I wonder if there's even going to be a noticeable difference. I wonder if they should try to make some sort of...
I mean, they built their own, essentially, risers in the stands to put the LED screens on.
That's how I figured they'd do it, yeah. So you're probably going to not notice much of a difference.
Probably.
But yeah, like we said, the last hour had some quality stuff. I like the stuff with Drew and Sheamus. I thought that was pretty good. Cedric Alexander was a bright spot.
Oh, he's great. He's great.
As well. I love that he's on this whole... aggro guy kick.
He's like outdoing everybody else in Hurt Business in terms of being like super Hurt Business, you know?
Yeah. Like I don't want to, I hate saying this because I know the wrestling industry is sensitive to it, but it's got the roid rage thing going for it. You know, the guy in the bar who's always super aggro and you're like, what's that guy's deal? Is it roid rage or something? Even though you don't look at Cedric and think roids. The irrationally angry Cedric Alexander
and then like almost
matches.
And then like overly exuberant celebrations once he gets a win. At least he didn't ignore his stablemates tonight.
Right. I love that stuff. I think it's so good.
Yeah.
So I like that stuff. I mean, there was stuff to like, but good Lord. Yeah. The first 2 hours were such a mishmash of like, not a lot actually happening. There's just so many rehashed things.
There's
not a lot of story. Like again,
recaps.
the third time, Lana and Asuka in some form or fashion gets a win over Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler.
And here's the thing: Lana's probably going to beat Nia next week.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's going to be her win in this feud because Asuka and Lana are not winning those tag titles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but man, for the first 2 hours of the show, honestly, I think I texted you. Yeah, go ahead.
You have a match between, without a doubt, the two greatest champions in NXT history, Asuka and Shayna. Yeah. And you just toss it on Raw with zero build.
Yeah.
Sorry, not zero build, because there's a build between the four of them for the tag titles. But not a program centered around the Raw Women's title, and you don't build towards this match as a title clash, which it should be. You incorporate the story from NXT. There's so much to work with.
No,
it's just there.
Yeah, that's the problem, though. I was do it. I know, man. I was watching. I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like, because I think I started doing the dishes when that came on because I knew this has nothing to do with Asuka and Shayna. This is all about Lana. This is Lana's story that Asuka and Shayna, two of the most dominant champions of their generation, have been roped into, and now they're having a match. And you're thinking to yourself, this is like a WrestleMania level match, Asuka versus Shayna Baszler. But because this is just part of Lana's story, that this is going to be a 5-minute goof. And that's what it was. I mean, it's exactly what it was. There was more shots of Lana and Nia Jax in this match than there was of the actual match taking place.
Yep. It was short.
And I get that they're telling that story right now, and that's why I kind of semi forgive it, because they are telling a story. It is a shame, though. I feel you.
Well,
it is
I don't feel like it has to be a mutually exclusive thing. You could tell the story with Lana and actually tell the story with Asuka too, apart from her being just involved in the Lana story.
Ideally, but WWE they can't do that. They don't know how to do that. It's one focus, and then everybody sort of is in orbit of that story.
But I don't think I'm in the wrong for asking more, especially when you get talents of the caliber of Asuka and Shayna Baszler. You should demand more when you got two stellar competitors. Talents.
You tell me where to sign, I'll sign it on. I'll put it on there.
All right, you got a piece of paper in front of you?
I mean, that's not gonna. We got to
drop a contract, a change.org petition. How about that?
Yeah, but I can't do that on paper.
All right, well,
where
do you go to fill out a change.org petition?
Does anybody know the website for change.org? Do we know that?
Anybody
in chat?
If you know, leave it in the comments, please.
Leave it in the comments below.
I don't know where to go.
Anyways,
please
Raw
fill me
kicked
and
off.
tell me where I have to go to fill out this change.org petition, and I will fill it out.
I'll put it on there.
I'll put it on there. I just need to know where to go.
Anyways, Randy Orton opens Raw. He says, I'll be knocking on that funhouse door, wondering who's going to let me in. That's the only piece of dialogue I got. What?
Hold on. He never even came close to the funhouse door, nor did he knock on anything during the course of this episode.
Are they going to do that next week? Because they said they were going to do it.
It was advertised for this week. He invited himself to the Firefly Funhouse, and he never stepped foot inside. That's false advertising.
He didn't even come close.
That's false advertising. I'm going to add that to my change.org petition once I find out
Does anybody know where to go for change.org? I'm going to write it down.
All right, make note of that. So, yeah, he's talking about he smashed his moral compass years ago. He's going to come face to face with the devil and look at him in the eyes and let him know the devil digs. Most evil SOB on earth has come home. Then Bray shows up with the Tron. Orton's like, I'm the last person you want to play games with, Bray. And Bray is excited. He goes, games? And it's time for, I like the title of this. It's very clever.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get Randy.
Get Randy.
That's very clever. It's got a very 70s vibe.
Mm-hmm. So obviously, it would if this was a thing on Buzzer, it would be hosted by your dude. What's his name?
Oh, Gene Rayburn, probably.
Gene Rayburn.
Gene Rayburn.
He had a weird face, huh?
All right. So, anyways, Bray is game show host now. The panel is Rambling Rabbit, Huskus, and Mercy the Buzzard. They are the contestants. Sorry, and they're playing for the Crucix. Of course, that was involved in Randy and Bray's previous feud. Also, the rotting carcass of Friendship Frog.
That's disgusting.
That's pretty gross. So the first question was, how should Randy be punished at TLC? They all gave wrong answers, but Rambling Rabbit in Wyatt's mind gave, in his words, a revolting answer. Says the Fiend and Orton should sit and calmly talk about their feelings. Bray says, I have the right answer, or he always has the right answer. Orton says, I'll play your games. I want a match against you tonight. Bray Wyatt. And Bray says, I accept.
I accept. After that, we had Asuka versus Shayna Baszler, a 30-minute Iron Man match between these two, and it was a 5-star affair. Psych, it was 5 minutes, and it ended with a roll-up because of a distraction on the outside with Lana.
I have more notes for this match about what happened during Nia and Shayna's backstage promo.
That was actually pretty funny.
That was pretty funny. So they have a promo, and Nia's like, hey, Shayna, you're the Queen of Spades, one half of the most feared tag team ever. Your focus is on demolishing Asuka, but we're not going to just demolish Lana. That would be too good. When we're finished with her face is going to be all ugly. We're going to twist her and contort her in all sorts of different directions. And Shayna goes, yeah, her front is going to look like her back, and her back's going to look like her front. And Nia says she's going to have boobs on her back. And Shayna just gives her a nod. And it's like Nia didn't bat an eye. She's kind of shrugged and was like, all right, let's go.
The delivery was pretty damn funny.
Yeah,
these two really do have chemistry. I
do.
liked it quite a bit. In the ring here, Shayna gets the upper hand after some business outside, whatever that was. She targets Asuka's arm. Nia takes out Lana on the outside. Lana once again counters Nia into the steel steps. Lana tries for a Rana, lands on Nia's shoulder. Mind you, this is Asuka versus Shayna Baszler. Then she turns that into a Rana. Shayna's distracted. Asuka rolls up Shayna for a 3.
Their first meeting. Their first meeting is this.
Is this actually their first meeting? This is the first time they've...
Well, I think in a one-on-one bout. They've like Asuka was in the chamber match that Shayna dominated.
Right, that's where they had a sort of a thing. Yeah.
But this is, I believe, their first one-on-one contest.
Yeah.
The focus is on something else entirely.
Maybe we got to get to that match at some point. We'll get to that match.
We just had it though. That's the problem. Anyways, next we see Hurt Business backstage. They're talking about making a statement tonight. Some production assistant runs in, looks like a box of merch or something, and they're like, and Cedric just goes completely crazy.
I'm walking here.
Yeah, tells him to move. He starts trying to move. He heads in the direction of Lashley. MVP goes, no, you should be going the other way.
Yeah.
He runs off. They laugh
in front of him. Idiot.
Then we had an extended recap of the AJ, Miz, and Morrison saga.
You don't
just from last week. This is the only recap I mentioned. But part of me wanted to make note of them just to keep tabs on how many there were.
I know.
There were at least half a dozen.
There was dude, Raw. I said Raw started with Randy Orton coming. No, it started with 5 minutes
Yeah.
A solid 5 minutes recapping the 7-minute segment that opened up last week.
Yeah.
Like they recapped everything except for, awkward silences.
And then they recapped a bunch of stuff that already happened earlier in the night.
Yeah.
It was too much.
So anyways, Riddle is offering up some bro nuts. It's his latest
to Ricochet. Yeah.
Bro nuts to Ricochet and Dana Brooke.
Yeah.
They're like, no thanks, we're trying to strategize. He's like, oh. So then an interviewer comes up and she's like,
Sarah,
hey, Ricochet, what's going on with you and Retribution? He's like, look, I'm not opposed to being on a team. I'm opposed to being on a team of jackasses. And Dana says, I'm not going to let anyone disrespect me. But tonight is about teamwork because they have a mixed tag match. And she said, I won't hesitate to slap around that Mustafa Ali if he gets in my way. And look at my black eye. I owe Mia one for this one. Reckoning.
Yeah.
Gonna give her a reckoning. Hey, Dana Brooke was kind of cool in this match, man. Again, less than a 5-minute match, though.
Yeah, I know.
This is kind of like one thing for me personally, I can tell you. The show generally feels like less of an energy suck if you give me a good, meaty 20-minute match within the first hour. But it's all these little tiny segments that just sort of wear you down.
It's a good, meaty 20-minute match of consequence. Making something that matters.
Yeah. Yeah,
dude,
even like I said, even before the handicap match, there really were no consequences there, but it was a really fun match. Some stuff happened. There was a cool thing
by the end of it, you felt there was consequences.
That's true.
Involved.
Yeah, that's true. Something did happen. Yeah. So, anyways, Dana Brooke.
The only thing that happened at the end of this match is Mustafa Ali getting in the ring and berating Mia Yim and Shane Thorne.
I'm hoping, number one, it's kind of cool that they keep on going back to Slapjack. I like that.
I do like that, but where's T-Bar and Mace?
I mean, given how they're booked, do you care? Does it matter? They're booked so hapless.
Dijak is actually. I have not seen a whole lot of Dio Madden's work, so I don't know, the quality of matches he's put on.
Yeah,
I've seen plenty of Dijak's matches. He puts on fun matches.
He's great, but clearly, and even as T-Bar when he's been in matches, which he's had all of maybe.
He elbowed his way into a hurt lock. I know what you're talking about. That didn't work. That didn't work.
I'm in a tight spot.
Tap.
So Dana Brooke got the pin on Reckoning, whose mask stayed on this time.
Yeah, it's like a sit-down Michinoku driver. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was rad. I know. Dana Brooke is great. So afterwards, like you said, Mustafa Ali, and I really just want him to fire Reckoning so she could be Mia Yim. Just fire her. Just let her go. And then she could just join regular roster as Mia Yim. I don't know about Shane Thorne. Maybe the same for him. I feel like he has a bigger shot of getting left in the.
I'll tell you what. By the time of the Royal Rumble, Retribution will be no more.
Walk me through that. Is that a shoot? You got a scoop? You got an exclusive?
No, I got no info. This is my gut.
By the Rumble? That's less than 2 months away.
It's a month and a half. Yeah.
I'd like to believe you, but they just like to beat a dead horse, man.
Yeah, but then other instances when they realize they got nothing going, they're like, all right, we'll just give up on it.
Yeah, but then they won't go revert to being who they were.
No,
they'll just it'll be a weird oh, here's Reckoning.
Now Reckoning. You've been kicked out of Retribution. Wait, you're still Reckoning?
Just continue to be.
We know you're Mia Yim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You posted on social, and your mask came off, by the way.
Yeah, we all saw you were Mia Yim. We heard the referee, I believe a referee referred to you as Mia Yim during the match.
Speaking of people who knows Mia Yim, Keith Lee approached Sheamus backstage. Literally the exact same segment they did last week. Keith Lee, probably unbeknownst to Drew McIntyre, has Drew McIntyre's back here, going up to Sheamus saying, hey, I know what you're doing. I got my eyes on you, pal. Hey, pal. Got my eyes on you. And Sheamus said, yeah, I'll tell you the same thing I did last week because it's the exact same segment we did last week.
Yeah, virtually.
I'm going to go turn on my partner and beat him up.
Yep.
What business is this Keith Lee's? If Drew gets turned on, that's his
swerved
business.
on. Yeah, that's what happens. This is wrestling.
All right, before we continue, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, forhims.com. Hey, Larson. Is that hairline of yours moving backwards or something? Did you know 66% of men start losing their hair by the age of 35? But hey, listen, buddy, I'm here to tell you that now is the best time to prevent even more hair loss.
And why try odd solutions, or worse yet, do nothing at all when you can turn to science to treat your hair loss? Yes, thanks to the wonders of science, hair loss can be optional. Hims helps guys be the best version of themselves with FDA-approved products to treat hair loss.
Hims connects you with licensed medical professionals online. All you got to do is answer a few questions to see if FDA-approved hair loss treatments are right for you. If approved products are shipped directly to your door, that means you can say goodbye to awkward in-person doctor's visits and long pharmacy lines.
Today, Hims is giving you their best offer yet. If you're not happy with your results after 90 days, Hims will give you a full refund. And right now, Going In Raw listeners can get their first visit absolutely free. Go to forhims.com/GIR. That's forhims.com/GIR.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Remember, friendos, that's forhims.com/GIR.
All right, next we had Miz TV with AJ Styles. Gosh.
Dude, let me ask you something. What were your emotions? What were your feelings when Miz and Morrison were doing their Sheamus and Drew impression that lasted like a half hour on its own?
You remember on my bachelor party when we were on the boat and I felt like I had to vomit the whole time?
Yeah, right.
It was something akin to that.
Oh, wow, yeah. And then the fish threw up on you.
Yeah.
You yelled at it and said, stop that.
Yeah.
You got swerved by a fish.
Well, the fish was letting me know how they felt in the water,
Yeah. I feel you, brother. But you said, stop that. But.
I mean, really, if I really want to create a memorable moment, I should have on the fish, Sadly, the contents of my stomach had all been overboard by that point.
That would be great. Oh, I would have died if you'd have thrown up on the fish. Oh, Lordy.
I mean, the fish couldn't help it. It just got pulled up, dozens of feet.
I know, that poor fish, and then his guts come up.
Yeah.
That was messed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways,
this was trash. This whole segment was trash.
AJ's their guest, and they're like, and don't, because I'll just do the Steve notes because these are quick.
Yeah, I don't want to relive this, honestly.
They're like, how are you going to stop Drew in a TLC match? AJ says, I'm going to use table, ladders, and chairs. Then Miz and Morrison do a really long impersonation of Drew and Sheamus.
It was so bad.
It was so long.
So bad.
It took forever for them to do
Oh,
this.
gosh. I don't think I've ever been happier to see Sheamus in my life when he came out.
And he didn't even interrupt them. He let them finish the gag. He let them finish it. And then he comes out. Pro wrestling is all about interrupting promos. It's like a tried and true tradition.
Oh, it was so bad.
So Sheamus comes out and says, yeah, good job. I'm going to beat you guys up. And they're like, no, you have no friends. There are three of us, one of you. And then he's like, oh, no, I got a friend. And he's named Drew McIntyre, because they haven't seen every backstage segment that these guys have done over the past like 3 months. Drew comes down and he's like, you know what? I got to give respect to Miz and Morrison. No matter how many times I knock these guys down or we knock these guys down, they come back for more. He talks about Miz not having any balls. Because Maurice put them in her purse, and so he just uses Morrison's balls because he made him his bitch. And then sort of a brawl breaks out, and then probably the most impressive moment of the night.
Oh, man, that was incredible.
Drew chucked that Money in the Bank briefcase clear from the ring to the back of the stage.
Yeah,
like it hit
off the
back
LED
wall.
board. Yeah,
it did. That was impressive as hell.
That was damn impressive. It was a highlight of the whole segment by far.
Yeah.
Where can we go somewhere to start a petition to cancel Miz TV? Where we go to do that?
Does anybody know of a website where we can start a petition? I got a pen and paper right here.
I want to file a change.org petition. Where do I go to do that?
I don't know the website.
I don't know either.
After that, we had Kofi versus Shelton Benjamin, because last week we had Xavier Woods versus
Cedric
Alexander. Kofi ends up being, and I remember texting you, I was like, oh, this is cool, this will take up like a good 20-25 minutes.
Well, you were almost there. It took about 15 to 18, but it wasn't just one match, it was with two.
It's 2 matches, because Kofi ended up beating Shelton in 5 to 7 minutes or so.
Yeah,
5 minutes,
quick.
with a Trouble in Paradise. As he's leaving with Xavier Woods, Cedric gets on the mic and he rage challenges Kofi for a match. I'm tired of you guys. Always slipping through the cracks, slipping through our fingers. Get in here. So Kofi's like, okay. Xavier Woods is like, he's going to beat him now. So Cedric goes after Kofi's knee. Commentary really pushes. They show footage of him tweaking it during his match with Shelton. So he's targeting that. We get a close call. Kofi hitting a really nasty looking targeted SOS. Cedric hits a really cool looking spinning brainbuster for 2.
Oh man,
and then
great.
He eventually gets a lumbar check on Kofi for 3
for the win. I'm happy that Cedric is getting a push. He's great.
It's awesome. It's so great.
Now his take on his character has been phenomenal. It's been fantastic. It's been great stuff.
Yeah, I wonder how much of this stuff, I mean, we heard he had mentioned that MVP was sort of, helping guide the creative here. The faction stuff works so well, and I wonder if that's stuff that he picked up from his time in Japan working there.
Could be.
That wouldn't shock me at all, given that it was so faction heavy, and it seems to be paying off quite a bit because they're using these guys. Everybody is getting the most out of these guys.
I know. After that, we had a 2-on-3 handicap match. You had Drew and Sheamus taking on Miz, Morrison, and AJ Styles. Again, for the most part, Miz and Morrison booked completely and totally hapless. That being said, I was pretty impressed with how snug John Morrison was working tonight. He was cracking people with those forearms, it looked like.
Yeah, specifically
that one in the back of Drew's head was rough.
The part when you texted me, it was like a couple minutes after I had noticed Morrison when he tagged in and had Drew. They had Drew in the corner, and he was laying into him.
Before that, he's like Drew got tossed in that corner, and you see Morrison with the elbow or forearm.
Yeah, to the back of the head.
To the back of Drew's head.
That's what yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he was working snug.
Yeah,
really stiff.
This is actually a really fun, really long match. AJ Styles ended up getting the pin on Sheamus with a phenomenal forearm after Sheamus accidentally bro kicked Drew McIntyre because Morrison had evaded a bro kick, and that went straight into Drew McIntyre. So that set up the end of this match, or that was the finish of the match.
Yeah, the whole last third of this match was actually really, really good. Really
good.
And
Drew and Sheamus just ended up sort of, staring at each other like, hey, we're about to, this is about to happen. I'm really glad they rolled with this because it sort of played out the way it should for these two, which we'll get to in a moment. But first...
In a moment, yes. Next, Lana and Asuka are backstage. Lana's super anxious about facing Nia next week. It's like, I don't think I could beat her. But she says, Asuka, I think you and me, we can win the tag titles, but I can't face Nia by myself. And Asuka tells Lana, you got to believe in yourself. You can beat Nia Jax, and we'll become women tag champions. And so Lana's kind of like chanting to herself, I could beat Nia Jax. I could beat Nia Jax. Asuka leaves. Lana turns around. Nia's right there in front of her. She just does this. Slow head shake. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So after that, Sheamus is backstage. He's all amped up, and an interviewer comes up to him. You probably know which one. And he says, I think it was Charlie. Yeah. I think it was Charlie. Anyways. He says, she's like, hey, what's your deal? And he's like, yeah, I know what's going to happen. Drew McIntyre is going to come back here and kick my ass, and I'm going to have to kick his. And he's asked, was it intentional, the bro kick? He says, no, of course not. Drew comes in, interrupts. Sheamus says, you know that wasn't intentional, right? And Drew says, you know what's about to happen now. We come back from commercial. Sure enough, they're fighting.
Yeah, they're fighting. Pat Buck, poor Pat Buck.
Poor Pat.
Comes to tries to break it up. They lay him out and powerbomb him through a catering table. And then, like, it's all good. Sheamus is like, hey, go buy me a pint. You're cheap. It's your time to buy around.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of like T-Bar 2.0 to a degree, but...
Yeah, sure. No, I like that stuff. And that's why, I mean, they're going to need a really solid... I mean, I don't know if it's Sheamus winning the Rumble to eventually get them to that point, and it ends up being, Sheamus doesn't turn on Drew, although I think a turn probably would, be more interesting than a friendly rivalry. I don't know.
I will kind of wonder with the reason they're putting Keith Lee, get him involved in all this. Is
to eat a pin?
No, I was going to say to have him involved in the story so that after Sheamus loses to Drew, Keith Lee can have a thing with Sheamus to build him up after he wins the Royal Rumble. Keith Lee, that is, to build him up on his path to face Drew at WrestleMania.
That could be. Yeah. After that, they had Lashley versus Jeff Hardy. I like this because they said this match is put into place because Jeff Hardy beat Elias last week, and so he gets a shot at Lashley. And I'm assuming if he wins, because this wasn't for the title. Yeah, but if he won this, I'd put him in a good spot to be.
Obviously, that's how WWE does thing. You want to get a title shot, beat the champion.
Yeah, beat the champion to get a title shot. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think maybe I was just happy that Elias and Jeff Hardy are done with.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. So Lashley comes out first. Jeff Hardy is in gorilla position. Riddle walks up to him. And the whole night, Riddle's carried around his box of bro nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, hey, I've been thinking about tag team names. And I just realized, they're called the Hurt Business now. But he suggests to Jeff Hardy, they call themselves the Hardy Bros.
Mm-hmm.
Hardy Bro.
Yeah.
Puts over the Hardy brothers. Jeff goes out to the ring. I missed a chunk of this. So tell me what happened when Matt Riddle came out. I assume MVP was getting involved, distracting Matt Hardy. I read on Twitter that he took one of Matt Riddle's donuts during the course of this bout.
Oh, that I didn't see.
Oh, I saw that on Twitter. Maybe that was not the case.
No, I probably missed it. But no, I mean, I did see this bit. MVP was, exactly what you said. He was trying to distract Jeff Hardy on the apron. Matt Riddle ran down, took him off the apron. I didn't see the donut spot. That's pretty funny, though. Riddle comes down, pulls him off. Eventually, Lashley gets Hardy in a choke on the ground. Riddle's, trying to pump him up. Hardy powers back up. Jawbreaker's out of it. Hardy ends up hitting a twist of fate. Lashley, then he goes, he hits twist of fate. Then he goes up for a swanton, but he's really slow because he's been beat up quite a bit. So he gets up there. By the time he gets up there, Lashley's come to. He moves, hits Hardy with a spear, locks in the hurt lock. Hardy taps.
Correct. Afterwards, Matt Riddle gets, or Lashley's not letting go of the hurt lock. Riddle gets in the ring, and then Lashley more or less chucks Jeff Hardy into Riddle.
Yeah. So apparently he was eating one while they were walking up the ramp, according to Eastnick here in the chat.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that was that was I thought that was good stuff. I think Riddle and Lashley roping Jeff Hardy into it maybe somehow. All right, before we continue, here's a word from our sponsor, HelloFresh. Get fresh, pre-measured ingredients and delicious seasonal recipes delivered directly to your door with HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
Yes, with HelloFresh, you can skip the stress of grocery shopping. Who really wants to go grocery shopping?
Not me.
Yeah, me neither. And focus on making delicious home-cooked meals that are, as Steve mentioned earlier, delivered right to your door. And not only is HelloFresh convenient, it helps you save money. You can save up to 40% by using HelloFresh versus grocery shopping, and all the meals are top-notch.
That's right. HelloFresh offers more than 20 delicious chef-crafted options each week, so you can break out of that recipe rut you've probably been stuck in for years. And there's something for everyone, including low-calorie, vegetarian, and kid-friendly recipes.
And preparing these recipes could not be easier. With HelloFresh, I was able to get a fantastic meal on my table for my entire family in about 30 minutes. Every recipe has been easy to follow thanks to pictures. They help guide your way through the recipe, and everyone I've tried has been delicious, with the shrimp and chorizo paella and beef bulgogi bowls being personal favorites of Larson.
Go to HelloFresh.com/80 going in raw and use code 80 going in raw to get $80 off, including free shipping.
Again, that's HelloFresh.com/80 going in raw and use code 80 going in raw to get $80 off, including free shipping. After that, we had Randall Keith Orton backstage in his own personal locker room. There's a knock at the door. He answers. No one's there. He turns around. He hears Ramblin' Rabbit's voice. He turns back around. Rambling Rabbit's kind of poking his head through the door. He says, Bray, can't wait to face you. It's going to be fun.
It's not weird that Orton wouldn't just attack the guy who's holding Rambling Rabbit.
Yeah, no. You'd think that'd be the case, but it wasn't.
But it wasn't. He was like,
it wasn't.
Par for the course here at the WWE.
Yep. Logic.
So that brings us to our main event, Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt. And yeah, like I said, they didn't give this match a ton of time, but they didn't really need to. It was fun, though. They went to the outside pretty quickly. Bray dropped Randy onto the table out there.
Belly to backs, man. Those are great.
Yeah. Then right before they go to commercial break, I mentioned this at the head. Yeah, we will be right back. and they go to commercial. When they get back, Randy's got the upper hand. Wyatt comes back, though, hits Orton with a really cool impaler DDT. Wyatt tries Sister Abigail. Randy counters with a neck breaker. Wyatt goes for another. We get the eye poke, the draping DDT, and then the finish that I talked about. The lights sort of half go down. Orton hits RKO. The rest of the lights go down as he covers. Red lights come up, and he's pinning the Fiend, who gets up, gives him the claw.
Yep.
So really entertaining main event. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of a slog to get through those first 2 hours.
It really was. Yeah, the first 2 hours were woo.
Jorge D says, on a YouTube network exclusive, we'll do some Friendo questions now. Jorge D here in chat says, on a YouTube network exclusive, Angel Garza gave a rose to a female mysterious admirer. What if it turns out to be Eva Marie? If not, who do you choose? So PW Insider had mentioned that Eva Marie is listed on the internal roster at WWE.
Correct.
So evidently she has been signed.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Interesting. Mike Lucas says Miz TV is the Raw version of an Elias song. Elias is on Raw too.
An Elias song is the Raw version of that. Miz TV is the Raw version of a Baron Corbin promo.
Yeah.
That's what I would. That's what I would call it.
Yeah. Frankie Boy 1220. Hey Friendos, do you guys think they'll stretch out Fiend and Orton to Mania so we get a Funhouse match? No, I think Orton Edge, unless Edge can't recover from his triceps injury in time. That's the Mania match for Randy. Maybe what's the pay-per-view after the Rumble?
Road something or other.
Usually Elimination Chamber somewhere in there.
Chamber, yeah.
Anyways, one of the B pay-per-views between Mania
Chamber.
and Rumble.
It's
have a Funhouse match there to kind of give people a reason to watch a B-level pay-per-view on the road to Mania.
I could
think
see.
that'd be a good idea.
Wyatt's got a lot of options. I could see Bray. If they're considering Bray a face, I could see Bray versus AJ at maybe at Mania. They could do a lot of stuff. I mean, any of the older guys. I mean, if Bray trying to bring up New Japan or TNA, any of that stuff, that could be a fun deviation.
That could be fun. I know.
Not sure how they do it, but Alex Foster. What other heels and faces should be friends? Talking about Drew and Sheamus.
I feel like Asuka and Shayna should be friends.
Oh my God, I was just thinking that. I was totally just thinking that. Also because Karen, our friendo Karen, mentioned earlier tonight on Twitter, she's like, it'd be cool to see them as a tag team. Totally true. Yeah, that's a good one.
GT Racer, Randy and Bray's fight should have pulled them into Tropicana Field like another dimension. Interdimension tension.
How about this? What about heel Sammy and current face Kevin Owens reignite their friendship, but they remain on those spectrums?
Dangum Q, the WB is probably waiting for Charlotte to return to take the title off Asuka.
That's a possibility, I guess.
Yeah.
Church Jackson, should the WWE address the fact that Randy basically killed Husky Harris by punting him out of the WWE, thus creating Bray? That's definitely something. That's definitely. I mean, he didn't even address Husky. Well, Huskus is obviously a Husky Harris reference, but that's a great idea. There's a lot of directions they could take Randy.
I know.
Firefly Funhouse.
I know. Let's see here. Oops, sorry, says Riddle needs to become a florist and sell bouquets of broses.
Broses?
Yeah, instead of roses. Broses.
Okay. All right. I can dig it. Wayne Scoggins, who from NXT could help Raw compete with SmackDown? Triple H and HBK. They could. Unfettered.
Broken wheelchair. I want to see Sheamus versus Drew in a hammer throw competition.
Yeah, or just see who can throw the Money in the Bank briefcase for
man. That toss was damn impressive, man.
That was huge.
Shane's birthday tweet says, I'm surprised WWE didn't destroy the arena before they left it. That's a lot of expensive stuff there.
Yeah, I mean, I get the idea, like, do like a Braun destruction thing, but that stuff is expensive and heavy. Mr. Sinister, will we ever see Almost wrestle? Jordan, are we going to see him wrestle?
It might be a little while.
Might be a while.
Night by night, which Raw superstar would you nominate to represent the Earth to the newly revealed Galactic Federation of Aliens?
Did you hear about this? There's a Galactic Federation of Aliens with an underground base on Mars. Apparently, this is real. The former head of the Israeli Space Authority, apparently well-respected guy, according to him. I didn't look up really his bona fides, but he was legitimately the Israeli Space Authority head. Just let out there, aliens exist. There is a federation of them. The leaders of our world know this. Apparently, Trump wanted to let humanity know, and he was convinced otherwise. What are your thoughts?
It's a lot to digest right now, Steve.
Right? Yeah. It was pretty heavy. I found out earlier today. I'm coming to terms with it now.
I mean, while I think about that, I guess we should answer Night by Night's question. Which Raw superstar would you nominate to represent the Earth? The newly revealed Galactic Federation of Aliens.
I mean, I feel like the only one who speaks the universal language is Asuka. Like, she'll talk. I don't know Japanese. I always understand what she's saying. Something there.
Yeah, that's fair.
And plus, if they try to fight, if they're like, man, if all these humans are as tough as this one, we're not going to mess with them.
Yeah, I can't really argue with that.
How fucked up would that be, though? If, like, tomorrow, wouldn't that be weird? Like, if tomorrow is just, like, Trump and a bunch of aliens on, like, the front page of the New York Times. I'm like, can't y'all just wait till January?
Man.
Wait till the 22nd, dude.
Man.
Like, why is the leader of your free world so tired all the time? He's so sleepy. Oh man, that's the funniest knock on a politician like ever. He's sleepy.
Yeah,
he's deep a teepee. Oh man.
Ryan Supernova, Jeff Hardy has been on RTVs for well over 20 years now. Why has his double leg drop to the groin area never been a disqualification? Because he's hitting the lower abdomen with his heels.
No,
hitting.
That's such a loophole right there. Clearly, he's hitting dick and balls.
Well, sort of like the inverted atomic drop, where knee is hitting you square in the ball area. That should be a DQ.
Yeah, no,
right?
I agree, 100%, 100%. Maggie said, honestly, Trump creating Space Force was all the confirmation I needed regarding the existence of aliens. Harry Reid has said that, he's basically, saying that stuff exists.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Earth, get your shit together.
I know.
Grow up.
White Brownie, 92. Does this Asuka and Lana storyline continue after TLC, and who does Asuka defend against at the Rumble? No, they'll lose at TLC, and that will be that.
Mm-hmm.
Who is Asuka defending? I don't know.
At the Rumble?
Either Nia or Shayna.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that's probably we're going to get our big Asuka Shayna match, the one that will matter,
Mm-hmm. Sorry, go ahead.
Moses supposes if you were to swap one Raw superstar and one NXT superstar, who would you swap in order to benefit both wrestlers?
I would trade Karrion Kross for Ali.
Oh wow, that's cool. That's a good one. I like that. Let's see here. Gloria, you said Dang MQ had something, right?
Oh, sorry. Eva Marie could also be the mystery partner to Billie Kay on SmackDown. That's what he says, but it will probably end up being Tamina.
Oh yeah, that's right, because they got that match.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch Paul Heyman's apology to Kayla?
Mm-mm.
It was pretty funny. He just apologized for Kevin Owens interrupting it. He called Kevin Owens a savage.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. He said, you should have never been put in that situation. to have encountered Kevin Owens. Unprofessional. The glorious broken sound. She was just so confused. The glorious broken sound wave. Who do you think the next person to join Roman's table? Jimmy Uso, Tamina, or Nia Jax? It's not going to be Nia Jax.
It'll be Jimmy.
It's going to be Jimmy.
It'll be Jimmy.
When Jimmy comes back, are they going to pull some twin magic on Roman?
That'd be something else.
Wouldn't that be great? Sorry, go ahead.
D. Hayes, since they keep rehashing old matches that Bray Wyatt lost and giving the win to the Fiend, even though it wouldn't happen, how big would it be for the Fiend to destroy Goldberg and no-sell everything?
Well, like you said, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. I don't think Goldberg would allow it to happen.
Not a chance. There isn't a check large enough in the world for him to do that because he doesn't want to, show his already really old son that, monsters can beat his dad or something. That's weird.
I don't understand it. Oh, G-Man Fi says, I was there when Husky got punted by Orton and the crowd was popping.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I remember being there or not being there, but watching when Bray Wyatt debuted on Raw and hearing a smattering of Husky Harris chants, and those disappeared quick because they were like, I remember that. This guy's really cool.
Yeah, this guy's really good.
Let's see here.
I'm just trying to do something. What from Orton's past can be turned into a puppet on Firefly Funhouse? Oh, there's a lot. You got Snake on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a good question from Spice Hot Taco. If you guys weren't running a wrestling show, would you still be watching WWE?
So I would almost certainly be watching NXT. I would definitely be interested in AEW. I would probably give Raw a shot. And if it disappointed me too often, I probably would
record it, fast forward through the parts that are boring.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'd probably watch SmackDown. SmackDown's so breezy. I'd probably watch SmackDown. I ain't doing nothing else. So, yeah. I mean, it all depends on what other job I had.
Yeah, exactly.
If I was independently wealthy and I didn't have nothing to do, yeah, sure, why not?
Gareth, what Raw superstar is Ashley, an alien imposter living among us?
Galactic Federation, yeah.
No, which Raw superstar is actually an alien imposter living among us?
Part of the Galactic Federation, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
But who is it?
Leon Ruff. Some of his moves look very like they're defying physics.
But it's Raw superstar, very particular Raw superstar. Oh, Matt Riddle.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Pat Buck. Did you consider him a Raw superstar?
Well, he's in front of the camera.
Yeah, superstar.
Ryan Rubik's Cube says, what active pro wrestler would play the best U.S. president in a feature film? Active, so you can't say John Cena.
I know.
Adam Pearce.
Easy. MVP.
Yeah, that's good.
MVP.
That's good.
Or he might be like a Secretary of Defense. He's like the guy nudging the president into using nukes. Maybe a more calming presence for a president. Let's see here.
Xavier Woods.
Too young. Let's see here. If we're looking at an Air Force One type situation or an action movie and a Randy Orton. He's older.
Yeah.
Randy Orton.
He is. Yeah, he's 40.
I'm trying to think. What about what role would Samoa Joe play in this particular movie?
Oh man, he'd be a great president.
He's got gravitas.
Oh, hell yeah, he does. He's a great speaker.
He'd be like the poet laureate.
People.
He'd be like the poet laureate.
All right.
He'd be trapped there with them because he was coming to celebrating being poet laureate. Yeah, MVP would definitely be the whatever. What do you call that? Like one of the head commander guy, Joint Chiefs.
Joint Chiefs. There you go. There you go. J Ray B, what wrestlers who debuted in WWE between 2005 and 2015 have had Hall of Fame careers, and are there any first ballot Hall of Famers left in that period?
Debuting between 2005
and 2015.
Well, like CM Punk, like debuting in WWE specifically.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, debuted WWE. Yeah, so Punk.
Well, CM Punk should be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he should be.
I don't think he's gonna be, but he should be. Okay, so that's too early. 2005 and later. A lot of duds debuted around that time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go, Kofi. Everybody's saying Kofi.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan. Yeah, that's a good
The
one.
Shield guys.
Mm-hmm.
Bray.
Yep.
Ryback.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Ryback. Jackson Riker.
Oh gosh. Great corn escape with the sub. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The Miz. Would the Miz be a first ballot Hall of Famer?
I mean, not in my mind, but he is a Hall of Famer.
He's definitely a Hall of Famer.
Did anybody mention Sheamus?
Sheamus is definitely a Hall of Famer.
Definitely a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Dolph's definitely a Hall of Famer.
Definitely a Hall of Famer.
I don't know if he debuted before. When was the Spirit Squad debut? That was before 2005.
2008.
Oh, okay. I guess not that.
But he wasn't Dolph Ziggler then.
No, obviously not.
He was Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Andre Zimpel. With 2020 coming to an end and setting COVID to the side, would you say this was a good year for wrestling, a bad year for wrestling, or was it just meh? It was an interesting year for wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
To see wrestling, I mean, probably if you had to say good or bad, it'd be bad just because of how many people missed out on work opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, that's,
and even us as a viewer of wrestling, as people who partake in televised wrestling, you didn't get the full experience. You know, there was plenty of really good matches, even in the empty arena era, if you will. But it still isn't the same without the crowds being there.
Mm-hmm.
Crowds are such an important part of the whole wrestling presentation. You take that out, it's just not quite the same show.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. David Matushik. Which is weirder, WWE's recent booking or Mario Lopez as Colonel Sanders in a Lifetime TV movie?
Well, the way I look at it, Mario Lopez as Colonel Sanders is very consistent with how KFC's been doing their marketing. So that's really not outside the ordinary, outside the realm of possibility. I don't consider that weird based on their marketing campaigns.
Okay, let me back this question up then. What's weirder, Mario Lopez as Colonel Sanders in a Lifetime TV movie, or Shawn Michaels as making his big return to WWE as Colonel Sanders?
That's weirder given the context. Shawn Michaels.
That is weirder, right?
Mm-hmm. This is a good question from Dang MQ. With the Thunderdome moving Tropicana Field and them having a pigeon outbreak, who is the first superstar to get pooped on?
Oh, man.
In a perfect world, to be Baron Corbin.
Yeah, totally. That'd be great if it was Roman.
Pretty funny.
Like, how do you recover from that?
It'd be great if it was during an episode of Miz TV.
Yeah.
Just started raining pigeon poop.
Just all the shit everywhere.
Yeah.
That's all the questions I have here on the Patreon. One more juicy one from Twitch.
Oh, okay. Here, I'll find another. Oh, I don't really have that many left. Chench asked, could you see the Shield in the Hall of Fame or no, because no Ambrose Moxley? Depends what kind of terms he's with on with the company in 15 years. 15 years.
Yeah, if he's not with AEW at the time, like if he contractually can do it, I'm sure he'll do it.
Yeah.
He never said anything that was so beyond anything Vince McMahon wouldn't be. Well, number one, 15 years, Vince ain't gonna be around. Yeah, they're going to get inducted with Dean. You know what I'll say about Dean, though? He is one of the guys that really successfully rebranded his name. Because now I just think of him as Mox. So often it's difficult to think of that other person as their other name outside of WWE.
Well, I think part of it too, like for example, Brody Lee, I don't think of Luke Harper anymore. I think of Brody Lee. But I also know he was Brody Lee before he was Luke Harper.
Yeah.
I think it helps that while I might be terribly familiar with their work as their names prior to WWE, knowing that they had a name prior to WWE makes it easier in my mind to go back to that and say, oh, that's who they were this whole time, you know?
Like I still think of Sandow as Sandow, you know?
Yeah. I still have a hard time saying Miro instead of Rusev.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. I've gotten a bit more accustomed to that one because of the hair, I think. Anyways. And like just now I know I just see him as a guy on Twitch and I think of Rusev as the guy with like the longer hair on WWE.
Flats has it. It's not Matt. I don't know who Matt Cardona is. I know who Zack Ryder is, you know?
I barely know how to say Cardona. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate it. Twitch chat, stick around. We'll hang out for a second.
Yep.
Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Help support Going In Raw today by becoming a Friendo Club TV member. You'll get access to new bonus episodes every week, including Friendo Club Arcade, Live Power Rank, Vintage 10 for the Wins, and Ask Steven Larson. Get access to Friendo Club TV today by becoming a $5 and up patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson, by throwing us a sub at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, or by clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson.